Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with yet another brew review. What can I say? I left the country again. I visited Luxembourg with my loving mom. And of course when I visit Luxembourg I see how the beer scene is, or whenever I visit any country I check out the beer scene. And since Luxembourg is a Grand Duchy, a very small country, I would like to say there's not much of a beer scene, but they actually do have a decent beer scene. Even more so, I just brought a simple Pilsner beer, the Simon Pils or Simon Pils. And you can already see that this is quite special. But Brasserie Simon, or Brasserie Simon I should say, is owned by the Simon family for 201 years today, or in 2 months. So 7th generation already. Should have done a thing about them last year, but I didn't know it was their 200 year anniversary. But hey, so I didn't have this beer when I was there. I only drank a few British beers and some other Luxembourgish beers. But I saw this in the supermarket and I could not resist. We've already seen this before, not this exact design, but I don't know if you guys can hear this. This is an aluminum bottle. I think we have seen this maybe with Jupiler in Belgium. I know they've made beer in plastic bottles. That wasn't a great success, and I believe they've had this World Cup limited series aluminum bottles. I thought this was a one-off. I thought this was a limited edition, but it turns out that Brasserie Simon changed their glass bottles into aluminum in May this year, and they actually want to go 100% recyclable with this. Add to that this is a nice white design, I think by Kreutz and Friends, publishing agency or a marketing agency. This nice white bottle with this very bright red lion, a fierce lion on there, which is of course also a symbol for Luxembourg, with this stylized logo in black and red to sport the white, and then this lovely branded red-white bottle cap. I kind of like this. I love this red, white and black color scheme. It reminds me of the white stripes, which is again showing my age probably. But if you guys haven't seen the Seven Nation Army video, go check out that. Also in their text here, Simon Pils, pure malt et houblon, pure malt and hops. A very nice, serene yet loud bottle. Now what else is on the bottle? It says here bière, beer, beer. It's an ABV of 4.8%, so on the low side. We are used to 5.2%. I think this is more in the English tradition, where they have 4.5 to 4.8. Ingredients: water, malted barley and hops, and not much more. And is brewed by Brasserie Simon in Wiltz in Luxembourg. Now, funny enough, this time I was in Luxembourg City. I often visit Luxembourg City, or Luxembourgville. This brewery is in Wiltz, and apparently I accidentally visited it, but I didn't know. It was over 10 years ago, way before I went down this beer rabbit hole, but I actually stayed in the street where this brewery is. It's called Rue de Simon. It's named after the family that owns this brewery, and you can see their kettles from outside. These lovely copper kettles, but it was in an old, I'm not gonna say a ruin, but it was an old building, and it didn't look as if it was still in use, but apparently it was. So next time I'm going to Wiltz, which is not too far from here, about a 2-hour drive, I make sure to email Simon and ask them for a visit and maybe a tour. I want to say a grand tour, but it's a small brewery, so it will be a little tour by default. Now, all this talking has made me thirsty, so let's go over to the pour and looks of this beer. And about the glassware, I don't have the luxury of a Simon glass in my collection, but I thought this is an ideal moment to pull out something old, something a lot of people like in my collection, which is this very simple Jubiler Pilsner glass, but this is one of the old ones. It still has the yellow logo, and instead of a fierce lion, it has a fierce bull. Now, there's only one thing I'm gonna say about this glass. This has a very clear foam indicator. We always say 2 fingers of foam in Belgium, and in this case it is right up until the bull's balls. If you know, you know. Bottle cap in the bottle cap glass, and let's see. Now this aluminum also is great because it keeps the light away from the beer. Ooh. Oh, it's a 33 centiliter. Honest to God, I thought this was a 25. Okay, so it keeps the light away from the beer, so it is also better for your beer. Also aluminum, great heat conductor, so you can technically cool your beer a tiny bit quicker in aluminum cans, although it's not gonna be a matter of minutes. So, okay. Very classic, very yellowish golden blonde, very typical Pilsner. Quite a bit of carbonation going on. Nice white foam, of course, because I overpoured, because I thought this was a 25. I immediately butchered our 2-finger foam tradition. It's only 1 finger, still not English, but a bit on the low side. Nonetheless, lovely, lovely mixed foam, nice dense foam. Clearly being renewed by all these bubbles here. Nice and white foam, although in Pilsner beers, in lagers, oftentimes there is no need to add additives, for example, because of the process. Most of the time this already has quite white foam. And even if it wasn't, yeah, nothing wrong with darker foam, as you guys know. Oh, a very typical old style lager smell. They say pure malt and hops, but that is exactly what this smells like. Very slightly sweet and malty. I don't know if they have a lot of rest sugars, but in 4.8% they might have. So slightly sweet and malty, but when you take a larger whiff, it immediately hops over to, no pun intended, it immediately jumps over to the hops. Absolutely lovely, very classic. The way I kind of like it reminds me of the better quality Pilsners, like the Bavik Pilsner, which has won Best Pilsner in the world several times. It reminds me of the brand new Cadix Pils from Antwerp, which I haven't had the chance to make a video on because they only have it from tap, so I might have to visit the brewery. But yeah, lovely, lovely scent, lovely aroma. So let's have a taste. Cheers. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I thought when I bought this that this would be a 13 in a dozen run-of-the-mill Pilsner beer. But I stand corrected, very much so. This Pilsner is absolutely awesome, and I say that after the first sip, so yeah, render me enthusiastic. This Pilsner pretty much has anything that I like in a Pilsner. It is not too sweet, because most of the Pilsners these days, even here in Belgium, but in most of Europe, are sweet. What's up with that? But I like my Pilsner dry, crisp, bitter. Crisp is a beautiful word in this sense. So yeah, this beer it has a slightly sweet edge in the back of the tongue, but it's mainly maltiness, that rich malt flavor and aroma, completely backed up by the amount of hops in this beer. It is absolutely crisp and crystal clear, just as it looks. Yeah, this beer is not pretentious. They don't pretend to be anything, but it is absolutely awesome. I would honestly put this in the top 10s of best Pilsners I've had in the past few years. So, wow, was I wrong. I really thought this would be like a macro Pilsner. But no, it's absolutely beautiful, and I wouldn't be surprised that this recipe hasn't changed in like 50, 60 years, because it really tastes, it doesn't taste like old beer, obviously, but it really tastes like beers from the olden days, those beautiful, lovely, crisp lagers. It actually even reminds me a bit of the Czech lagers. Never thought I would say that. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy this a bit further. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, leave a comment down below, hit the thumbs up, let me know. If you want to get in touch, all my credentials, all my contact info is beneath the video in the description. If you want to support this channel, share a video or visit my Patreon page. Buy me a beer, so to speak. And I'm actually thinking of making t-shirts, maybe some hoodies, since I finally have a logo after 4 years. So let me know what you think about that. And until the next one, cheers.